Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, finally. Hopefully some of you managed to get back involved. I'll just give Simon a message. We're going to ping the Discord. We've completely missed qualifying. My internet upload speed decided to take an absolute tanking. Quick router reset. This is... Sorry, I'm just going to try and get some viewers in after this going completely pear-shaped. We shall... Where are we going? The qualifying, as you can see, qualifying well and truly underway. Let's just do that and that. I've obviously missed out the load, so as well. Go the full hog and go live there as well. Phenomenal stuff. Oh, where do we even start? If you are joining me at the moment, it means you're probably watching the vlog. Everyone will still be getting notifications. So welcome in. If you skip forward a little bit, this will be starting in 2 minutes. We've had a whole lot of qualifying. We've got loads of interesting facts as well about the fact that the Gold Champions, Pro Championship leaders never won a race. There's only been 2 drivers won more than one race, and no driver in the pros has won more than 2. Nobody has been on the podium more than 3 times, and the championship leader in the pros hasn't won a single race in the silvers. Certainly not the case. 3 trips to the podium for Andre Dixon Chen, Marjan Corbin with 2 trips to the podium as well, and Chris Vickers 3 trips on the podium and a race win. See those 3 hotly in contention for the championship with Marcus Jusma. Not too far behind. If we'll have a look at the qualifying, we can see that it is in fact Dixon Chen who has taken pole position. In fact, 9th overall he's got. 2nd, Chris Fielder. 3rd, Chris Vickers. Marjan Koderman way down the order in 10th there. For the pros, it's Luca, unsurprisingly. Tavanari taking that top spot. Ian Egan and Thomas Morant. Another podium visit for Thomas then. He is in 3rd place at the moment. Still got a couple of laps likely to be set. Hopefully we can keep up to date with everything that is going on. And we'll hopefully get a few people in as well after the technical... Oh. Oh, we've got a ding-a-ling, we've got a notification. Somebody is watching. Hurrah! We'll manage to get somebody in at least. After the technical, where is it? Oh my goodness me! And I missed the notification. The notification hasn't come up. It is call sign Twitch. Call sign Twitch. This is call sign Raven. Grim Control to call sign Twitch. How you doing, bud? Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along to SOP. What a bit of a slow start for you technical issues. The top 5 in the championship are top 5 on the grid for the final round. It's gonna get spicy. That's in the pros, Simon. In the silvers, Marjan Koderman is starting right down the order, so that's going to be a tough one for him to make his way back. We're not doing free cam. I'm not even going to try and do free cam after the luck I've had with my internet, so let's just crack on as we are. As Simon said, the top 5 in the championship. Liam Page with that win last week, his first of the season. He is in contention for the title as well, carrying 10 kilograms of ballast. Jonathan Reed. Sorry, it was Jonathan Reed that won last week. I do apologise. It was Jonathan Reed that won last week. Page was in third, of course. It's Reed with the 30 kilograms of ballast. Coderman with that 30 kilograms of ballast after that race win, and that's really put him down the order in the silvers. In fact, all three silver drivers with that ballast really struggling in qualifying this week. Edo Kops with that 20 kilograms, and of course Mark Bunyan with 10 kgs there. Championship leader Andre Dixon Chen in the silver. Job one done. Start on the front row for the silvers. He's done that. Chris Vickers in contention as well. Kane, thank you so much for tuning in, bud. You have had an absolute cracker of a start, mate. My internet, that upload speed was down to 4. I genuinely thought I'd move to 4 for in Australia. Ian needs to send it. The Bop Tourist. Now his World Tour is taking him to Japan. He does need to go full send if he's going to win this. More fascinating facts. Again, this is going to be one of Simon's favouriteest championships. Why? The championship leader... Oh, my... Please don't do this to me now. Oh, yeah, I forgot to drive, so we're going to have to wait. Let's look at something more interesting. No. Here we go. No point looking at the calendar. The season's finished. What was I going to say? Upload speed. Bit the dust. Championship leader hasn't won a race. Woohoo! Yeah, so in the pros, as I was saying, it is Thomas Morant that's leading the way. He's got a 6-point gap over Milton Tomlinson Dennis, who's starting in 4th. But Morant, no race wins, 3 trips to the podium. Not many drivers have been on the podium 3 times in the pros. Ian Egan, one of only 2 to do so. The other, of course, one of only 3, Liam Page. Ian Egan, Liam Page, and Thomas Morant, the only drivers with 3 trips onto the podium so far this season. And Morant, without a race win, has a 6-point lead at the top of the tables. If everything finishes the way it is now, Morant will be crowned king. So we'll see how that goes. Chris Vickers, 14 points behind Marjan Koderman and 2 points ahead of Marcus Juzma. So he's done exactly what he needed to do to get himself up into 2nd in the championship. Juzma has got a big ask on his hands carrying that ballast. The qualification, not massively kind. Bob Tourist needs a good result here. Vargas is in as well. Hello, my friend. How's it going? It's been a long time. It has. I missed Sunday.
30 seconds.
Due to what can only be described as a series of unfortunate events. Simulation, esport, simulation, domination. We need to get some shade there. Tony McCoven, indeed. I hope it is good to hear this. It's certainly better than without the sound. That was that was trouble. Basically, it was my router, but my upload speed tanked to about 4 meg, which I would have noticed if I hadn't been playing NBA Jam all day. so there we go. Sal Grosso, that's got something to do with salt. Maybe you'll get some news from me. Ooh, nice. Love it, love it, love it. Get involved. Kane, Mr. Desto is saying hi to Simon as well. Liam Page is in the chat. Ian needs to... Oh, it was Liam that said that. Sorry. I thought it was Simon who said that because it's a similar colour green on my screen. Here we go then. Lap underway. How was the sound for everyone? It just about drowns me out. That's actually quite good. Yeah, we like that. We do like it when it's louder than me. I hate my voice. Probably shouldn't be saying that. We'll jump up to Helicam. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me know how the stream looks as well, by the way. I'm now completely panicking that we're going to be buffering and stopping and starting. So let me know how the stream's running, please. Beats, give us a scale out of, say, 5. 1 to 5. 5 being good. 1 being not so good. We're going to be at Suzuka. This is a cracker. I absolutely love this course. 3.6 miles long or 5.8 kilometres for the uneducated amongst us. 1962, of course, this was built. It has undergone changes, in inverted commas, over the year. Not many. The Casio Triangle, of course, where most of the work had been done. just at the end of 130R. Yes, that 130R. One of the fastest pieces of tarmac any place in any racing calendar. What was F4s? Yeah, I've been racing the F4s part of this track recently. Great fun. So we're going to see. Certainly, this course invites a lot of overtaken areas designed by Honda. Let's face it, they don't do much wrong over at Honda, did I? Just ask El Bop Turisto Magnifico. He is sporting their wares on home soil. Please tell me you like the way I did that. Honestly, I hope Ian watches that back. Yes, he's in second. That's what I get. A frog in my throat. That's Karma. Hello, Karma, my own. Never mind. And of course, this track, famously, where I swore during an SOP broadcast. So there we go. That big slip up just where we're coming to now. One of the most horrendous rejoins. And a clear retaliatory attack led me to use profanities on an SOP broadcast. So there we go. First and last time, I can assure you. Tavanari won't be the first time. It's not the first time. It certainly won't be the last time he leads the way on an SOP grid. The Porsche pilot taking pole position once again. He's going to need a good run into the first turn. He's got the Honda and two Audis chasing him down. So Audi doing particularly well then. 4 Audis in the top 8. So just goes to show you, strong car around here, especially in these drivers' hands. It's going to be difficult to keep an eye. We definitely want to keep an eye, obviously, on Dixon Chen as well. He's surrounded by some pros. Team ERS either side of him there with Thorburn and Romano. Didn't actually get a chance to go through the full quality results. We got distracted by lots of different things. Who would have thunk it? Hopefully, give us some predictions in the chat. Do we think that Tavanari's got this one in the bag? How do we think Dixon Chen's championships hopes will play out? And will the bot tourist get caught lounging in the sun on his towel? Hopefully not for too long. Much like myself, Ian is from a Celtic country. He's Irish, I'm Scottish, so probably see through. Let's go number 9, Juzma. Get them elbows out, says Mr. Death Zone. We're going to see the green lights very, very shortly as the cars slowly crawl along the track at the 38 kilometres an hour. The track rated as fast, 20-degree track temperature, 1 hour race at 10 AM in the morning, and it is a great start there by Milton Thomas and Dennis. He's got a good run at Thomas Morant, in fact, as well. He's moved right up into second position. And it's Milton Thomas and Dennis putting Ian Eager under pressure. They've gone side by side there. Let's have a look and see how Andre Dixon Chen's getting on. He's right in the middle of that group, as I say, surrounded by ERS drivers, all very clean and into the anti-baton curves for the first time at Askin. Beautifully done. Someone just kicking up on the grass here. It's Chris Vickers, almost with a bit of contact from a car that did. That is Ilko Busing on an absolute charge in the course. Oh, and that's unfortunate. Oh, that just, words fail me there. I think we all know that was just a series of unfortunate events which has led to Ilko. Oh, and we've seen an SOP cars at James Rollins, I believe it is, and that's just going to be a change everything up. James Rollins, I believe, has just went, oh, that's a big send. How did you make that stick? Was that Alex Phillips that just did that? Who's behind Alex Phillips? Was that Jusma? What a move, kid! So we see Ilko Busing then. He touched a bit of grass. He had no place else to go, and as he came back on the car he originally contacted him. But Marcus Jusma on his way down into the Degnas. Oh, he's got one of his SOPs absolutely full send. The lock up in front of him, and he just pops it right in there. He had a very courteous teammates in James Rollins. So James Rollins is still going, actually, so it was Jimmy Boy Horn that spun down. But hats off to Mr. Jusma. In the chat, full send. We've got envelopes everything. Yep, sending it left, right and centre here. That is a phenomenal move then. Look at Tavanari back in the live action. He leads the way through 130R. Thomas Morant up in the second, Ian Egan in third, Liam Page in fourth place, Milton Thomas and Dennis in fifth. The top 5 still leading the way. Jonathan Reed carrying that ballast in sixth position with Rock Cops. Another Audi driver, he's in 7th, Eli Poe in 8th, Jack Thorburn in 9th, and Matthias Kinzelia. Simulation on the move in 10th position. Then we see our silver championship leader. He's already got job 1 done. qualifying pole position on your split. He's got Christian Romano behind him. We seem to be missing an ERS team. No, Jack Thorburns made his way up a couple of positions actually. He's got himself ahead of Kinsella. That's what's happened there. So Romano in 12th, and Turbovsek under a lot of pressure from Chris Vickers, with Chris Fielder looking to get back ahead of Chris Vickers. So those two have traded positions since the race started. Marcus, the king of the Degnas Juzma, now up 17th overall, so that is 4th in class with James Rollins in 5th place. Mila Danovic looking to put pressure on Rollins, with Mix Benito and Matt Camelio in the pros. Sam is in between a big group of those silver drivers, Bunyan, Danza and Petrovic, all inside the top 10 just. And there he goes, shows you just how crazy the start of the race has been. It's in fact Mix Benito who's currently got the fastest lap out of the opening exchanges, with of course only one lap in. Cavanari is the driver, still leading the way. Morant, Egan and Page still closely following the Honda. Looking to get himself out of the slips and take the title line through 200 into Spoon. Gets his entrance and exit pretty bang on, and he needs to, because that is a close following pack behind. That is for sure. The BMW career camera, I'm not sure mounted quite as well as it could have been by the designers, but there we go. Milton Tomlinson Dennis is the ERS out. You can see in his rear view over the rear spoiler end, and there is the pink BMW guided by Jonathan Reed, Cops and Poe in the back. And of course Eli Poe, another simulation driver, so himself and Matthias inside the top 10 for the simulation team. Looking at Cavanari for the rookie monster. He's up into first place. Ilko Busink, after that, just could not have been more unfortunate contact. He finds himself again down the order, 28th position, and a long way to go to catch back up to the rest of the pros. Jimmy Boy Horn is the BMW, so I thought it was the Aston Martin. It was actually Jimmy Boy who popped himself off the track, and Nelson Abrunhosa, not Chris Vickers, was the other car involved in that there. So they found themselves down at the back of the field. So too is Marjan Koderman. He's lost positions in the opening exchanges, and he's now further down the order in the silvers. Not what he needs. Klaus Christensen ahead of him, along with Eagle Cops and Man Petrovic for the ZDR boys. He is the car leading this little procession at the moment. You can see Christensen just behind him there in the Aston Martin. David Danza, the driver, just ahead of him. Lots of battles going on. It's a very close start at the moment for Bolzak. Sam was in the middle between Fielder and Phillips. Phillips, I'm sure, will be looking to get an overtake down there and get further up the field. Thomas Morant still cruising in second position. He's got equilibrious gaps almost with Cavanari and back to Ian Egan. So he is doing exactly what he needs to do. Could he potentially get a maiden victory this evening? Would it be a seeming... What would be more fitting actually? For him to finish in second and win the championship without winning the race, or to win the final race of the season to solidify the championship? So what are we thinking, second or first? What do we think is more fitting for Thomas's ascent to the top? There goes the main championship contenders indeed. They are absolutely blistering away. I think Page and Thomas and Dennis potentially, they've just changed positions as well. A bit behind them, some people went because of issues. ACC. Let's have a look. That's just stuck the mouse again. Getting back to the mouse. It's all about the one winning is winning it all. So is Lucas still in the hunt then, actually? Let me just double check. I'm sure there's still loads of action going on. Let me just check. How in the hunt is looking for the championship? Oh, he's only 6 points behind Morant, actually. You're right, he is 6 points behind Morant, and there's a 10. I do apologise. So yeah, as it stands, I'm talking absolute nonsense. Thomas Morant needs to beat Luca Tavanari. So if Luca Tavanari wins this, he will win the championship. I'm glad that's registered to someone that's paying attention, because it's certainly not me. He would be the only driver as well this series to take 3 top spots. Milton Thomas and Dennis with 2. So Tabanari, yeah, he is on for another SOP series win, and I didn't even realise it. Look at, sorry, bud. Morant's setting the fastest lap time while pursuing him. So yeah, he actually does need to break his duck and get himself a race victory here. Eli Poe looking to get an overtake done on Jonathan Reed. They're going to come along the back stretch towards 130. Ooh, and that's curse of the commentator time right there. He's just let that run a bit wide. So that's shaking him from Jonathan. Slips from Jonathan. Trying to get caught up to Rock Cops just ahead of him. Simon Terbolzek still in that Ferrari. He's got Chris Fielder again just ahead of him. Oh, and Andre Dixon Chen is in second. He's been overtaken by Chris Vickers, and we've missed it then. That was a while back. That's a minute's worth of replay. So Andre Dixon Chen doesn't seem to be carrying any damage, but he has been overtaken by Chris Vickers. That does still give him the championship. He's got a 16-point lead over Vickers. It's Marjan Koderman is his biggest threat, and even he's 12 points behind and quite a few positions down. So it does seem pretty unlikely that he's going to make a charge towards the championship. But a lot of racing, as you can see, Dixon Chen then down in second. So is there still hope for Marjan? Yeah, he finds himself still well down the order. He's ahead of Yoko Buesing, Abin Hosa and Jimmy Boy Horn. Chris Fielder has actually come into the pit. So has Matt Camelio and Mix Benito. Mateus Kidzelia running right down the order as well. He has taken his pit stop then, but it's Benito, Fielder and Camelio who've come into the pits. They've dispensed with the battles that they were involved in. Marcus Juzma just in the middle of a 3-driver SOP train. It's Alex Phillips who's leading the 3 at the moment in the hairpin, still looking to get an overtake on Simon Terbolzek, who is the driver directly behind Dixon Chen. He's still very close indeed to Chris Vickers just ahead. Jonathan Reed on Edo Cops as they come. Where is that bar? Oh, that is Spoon. That is Spoon. They're on the exit of there. How close is the BMW driver going to get? Let's do a bit of Bailey Cameron at 130. The BMWs are really terrible. Very high speed corner indeed. Foot almost pinned right the way through that there. Reed heavy on the brakes. You can see Eli Poe still loitering in the background. The drop off ever so slightly. Milton Thomas and Dennis starting to enjoy a clearer rear view mirror, but certainly struggling to keep up the page at the moment. Ian Egan sitting in third place now, 3 seconds down on Morant, who finds himself 1.2 seconds now down on our champion-elect at this stage. Is Mr. Luca Tabanari. Alex Phillips is not where I was looking for. On Dixon Chen is what I was looking for. He now finds himself 1.2 seconds of a gap. So still close, but certainly dropping off the pace of Vickers at the moment. So Vickers looking to consolidate his second in the championship. Mateus Kidzelia is out ahead of the rest of the drivers that have pitted. Camelio, Fielder and Benito. So Kidzelia in for a long stint, 49 minutes to go. So a lot of fuel he's going to be carrying. Oko Buesing carving his way back through the field. And it's Koderman now who is ahead of him. Koderman of course looking to try and hang on to a top 3 position in the championship, but currently running 11th in class. So not ideal. He's got Cops and Christensen just ahead of him. Christensen with a big gap ahead to Matt Bunyan, who's trying to get an overtake done on David Danzer. There they are there. Oh, that was a gun just coming through the hairpin. Buesing still recording the Cops ahead of him. There's Dixon Chen, he's still there. Vickers now 2.2 seconds. So Vickers, it looks like he's done this purely on race pace. Perhaps a different fuel strategy. He's got a big upload back down to within a second then. So really he's down to the sector of the track. Tavanari. very consistent at the moment. 59.4 his quickest lap, and it's the quickest lap of the race. 59.6 though for Thomas Morant, so he's not too far off the pace at all. Ian Egan joining that gang. He's just done a 59.8. Milton Thomas and Dennis with a 59.9. So a few of the drivers starting to dip under that 2-minute mark. It'll certainly help them in the long run if they can get the race pace down that quickly. But yeah, at the moment it is Tamanari, Morant, Egan and Milton Thomas and Dennis, the only drivers under that 2-minute mark. So they are at the moment head and shoulders above the rest. Dixon Chen closing in on Vickers. Even staying in second, he still wins the championship, so not likely to see anything too crazy from Dixon Chen. He does have about a 2-second gap back to Marcus Juzma, who's got his teammate Alex Phillips and pro driver Simon Turbovsek ahead of them. So that's a lot of overtaking he's going to have to undertake to get himself into contention for that second position, and that's exactly what he needs. He needs as many points in as he can if he's going to have any chance of catching up, because as it stands at the moment for Juzma, it couldn't be much worse with Vickers leading the way. He really needs to finish ahead of Chris Vickers if he's got any hope of getting ahead of him. There's only a 2-point difference between the two of them, so it really is going to come down to the finest of margins. 10-point gap between the points availed to first and second, so he really does need to get himself back into that podium hunt if he's got any chance getting on the overall championship podium. Eli Post still trying to get his way past Jonathan Reed. A couple of unforced errors have seen him dropping down off that battle ever so slightly. No drop off from Milton Thomas and Dennis on Liam Page. He's timed that beautifully at the last chicane. He's going to go side by side into turn number 1. Never the easiest place to do so. But these two are certainly more than capable. Dennis gives up the position. Does he have the exit speed? He doesn't. Liam Page then hangs on to 4th place for the moment. 2 seconds now separates Tavanani. There's Bunyan coming into the pits then. So that's another one of the silver drivers coming in to take his pit stop. In fact, Marjan Koderman is coming as well. So he's got on himself right out of the way of Ilko Busick in the gang. Jimmy Boy Horn, he's in the pits as well. And so, making his way in is Nelson Abrunhosa. So yeah, 15 minutes in, that is quite a few more drivers than I was expecting to see at this point, if I'm being honest. James Rollins trying to find his way. It's a difficult situation for James at the moment. He's got a teammate going for championship glory. He of course is himself. He's not quite in the title hunt. He is about 60 points off the lead and about 30 odd points, 34 points behind Juzma in the standings. Will we see any extra leeway given? It's got Andy Law. How are we doing, bud? Welcome in, mate. Cheers for the follow. Thank you for joining SOP Shorts. How's things with you, bud? What have you been playing recently? And when are you going on to CD Keys to get NBA Jam for £7, bud? It's awesome. In fact, it's only £4. Anyway, enough back to the sim racing at hand. It is stretched out over there. Milton Thomas and Dennis. Excellent. Very good. Very nice. I wish the driver to take off Hanson Banana. I couldn't get that thing in the head. Once again, played a new card. Oh, nice. Nice. I haven't actually got it again now. What was it like? A quick review. Any good? Is it multiplayer or single player? Oh, Dennis again. Trying to force the defensive move into turn number 1. Nothing doing. Of course, from Liam Page, he was always just going to hang that right exactly where he needed to. Phillips and Turbovsek are getting themselves nice and close at the minute. Right in the middle of that field. Matheus Kidzelia still the lead driver on track to have taken his pit stop. Camelio and Benito, the other pros to have done so. Fielder, Bunyan and Koderman. Fielder. I thought we saw Koderman come into the pits. Jimmy Boy Horn has been in there for a little while as well, actually. Hopefully everything is going okay there. Still close with some cars going under the bridge. Rollins, Juzma and Phillips, the three SOP drivers, still trailing one another. Milton Thomas and Dennis and Liam Page. Blue flag past Nelson Abrinhosa. Of course, one of the silver drivers that has taken the pit stop. So he will very quickly move himself out of the way, I'm sure. As we see Thomas and Dennis going to make his way past on the way into Spoon as well. Beautifully done. Stay predictable. And yeah, let the other driver make his way around past it. That's exactly what he's done. He's been lost. Motor Tour comes out on Friday. The campaign was awesome. One of those I'm going to buy when it's in the sale. That's Rock Cops following through as well, so he's closing in here as well. The lap traffic will be slightly beneficial to Page there. He's got himself a slightly bigger gap than the last few laps before the technology, there we go. Dixon Chen, how is he getting on? He is now almost 2 seconds behind Chris Vickers, but still very comfortably in that second position, so still leading the championship. Marcus Juzma trying to find the way past his teammate. Again, Rollins fighting for championship points, knows that Juzma is fighting to get on the podium in the overall championship standings, and Juzma ahead of him. Got one of his pro teammates who is trying to get an overtake crafter himself. Terbolzek putting in some very consistent laps to keep these three just at arm's length. On the way into Degnes, that is Liam Page absolutely flying over that entrance curve. Under the bridge to come. Milton Thomas and Dennis on his way into the hairpin, still looking to get an overtake. He's had a couple of goes at it, and Page has defended beautifully. Look at the way that Audi manages to get into the hairpin, and then the BMW on the exit. Clean pair of heels, and off he runs. Now equilibrious gap between first and second and third, 3.5 seconds is the magic number at the moment. And the Porsche up at the front is absolutely flying. Definitely champion-elect at the moment for Luca Tabanari. Let's jump back on board with Thomas and Dennis though. Let's have a bit of bonnet cam into 130R. Let's see how they do this time. Certainly the Audi has shown some pace. Oh, quick flash of the indicator there from Liam. Into the final chicane. Oh, slightest of touches there. Milton, yep. Oh, pardon me. Hangs back just to make sure he doesn't take that position. And that battle, excuse me, will recommence very soon indeed. Marcus Juzma comes through the Casio Triangle, getting ever closer to Phillips ahead of him. And we've got Chris Fielder who's caught up to Matt Camelio, just coming under the bridge themselves. It is the Mercedes versus the Aston. And Chris looking very quick indeed. So too is Mix Benito. Now at the moment it's trying to find a way past Mark Bunyan, but it's still, let's have a look. Juzma on Phillips, still very close there. Thomas and Dennis still looking to get his way past Liam Page. Got a bit of work to do to catch back up there. ERS teammate Christian Romano, El Chromedix, world's greatest ACC commentator. He is currently running inside the top 10. Oh, Juzma very close indeed. Look how close he's getting. He's got his teammate just in the background there. That's a much better passing view. So let's watch Juzma then through the hairpin. You can see Terbolzek and Andre Dixon Chen not too far ahead then. So Juzma, the car is certainly being dangled at the moment. 1.6 seconds is the gap between Dixon Chen and Chris Vickers. So still a bit of a way to go for Juzma. He's got to get past Phillips and Terbolzek. It's going to need some heroics in the pit stops, I would guesstimate. It'll certainly be interesting to see which one of these drivers pulls the trigger first and gets that pit crew working to get them to the end. Still Cazelia and Camelio leading the way for the pros that have taken that mandatory pit stop. Still plenty of time to get it done. No pit window, so yeah, full on 37 minutes left to get that pit stop taken. I certainly don't want to take it on the last lap, that's for sure. The bullseye then, run a bit wide there, completely missed that apex on the way in. Should give Phillips a bit of ground. Oh, and there we go then, it's Dewsman that pulls the trigger first. Dewsman's coming to the pit. So in fact is Chris Vickers. Wow, so I wonder, did Dewsman react to Vickers, or did he always plan on coming back in, or did he always plan on coming in this lap? It certainly puts us in an interesting position. So far this season, the vast majority of Dixon Chen's strategies have been stay out and run long, and it's worked wonders for him. He's the championship leader after all. How long will he stay out? Will he reply to these drivers coming into the pits, or is he in for another long opening stint? We will see. We will see. Milton Thomas and Dennis was looking to get a move done on Liam Page. Slightest contact from through 130R on the way into the Casio Triangle. So Liam Page have to take a bit of an escape route across the curbing, and Milton Thomas and Dennis swapped to make sure he didn't illegally take a position. What that's done has brought Rock Cops right under the rear spoiler of Milton Thomas and Dennis, the two Audis ready to go at it. Just in the background, that's not Chris Vickers, that's Nelson Abram-Hosa. He's just out the pits. He's got Liam Page just behind him, so there we go. That explains the team Abbey car being where it was. Let's have a look at Cops then. Has Milton Thomas and Dennis left himself open to an overtake move that he himself tried to make not too many laps ago at the moment. All signed, sealed and delivered for Thomas and Dennis. There's another driver coming into the pits. Is that Liam Page? It is indeed. Liam Page comes into the pits. So too does Jonathan Reed. So just before the halfway mark, seeing another couple of cars coming in. Christian Romano and Eli Post stayed out. Andre Dixon Chen, he has stayed out then, so he hasn't gone for a direct reply to his two main championship protagonists, Vickers and Dewsma. They've come out the pits in the opposite order. They've come out the pits in the opposite order, or there's been an overtake. Wow, yep, so straight out of the pits. I tell you, Chris Fielder is right in the hunt there as well. So Dewsma has got the job done. He's got himself ahead of Chris Vickers, who was in the lead for the Silvers. Does this now mean he is in the lead overall in that class? We will see. It's all down to Andre Dixon Chen then and what he can do in this phase of the race before he comes into the pits. But yeah, Dewsma, he's absolutely got the job done. He's got ahead of the class leader. He's not massively far ahead, it has to be said. The two of them are likely to battle right down to the end of the race. But yeah, job done for Dewsma then. Phenomenal drive. Still got 34 minutes to go. How long can he hang on to this? Can he fend off Chris for the rest of the race? He is on an absolute charge as Marcus. Kazelia still ahead of him. He has now been overtaken by Page and Reed, who have both come out of the pits. They two now take the mantle. Hey, Mr. Falcon, how you doing, bud? Welcome in, welcome in. How's your racing been going, mate? How has the racing been going? I've not been on Twitch much late at night. Are you still streaming? How are things with you? Let us know, let us know, let us know. We'll have to keep up to date, but cheers for tuning in. We're here for the final round. It's Suzuka. Oh, Romano comes into the pits. El Pit Strategist Extraordinaire. That's him come into the pits to take his mandatory stop. Where's he going to count? He should be, or Page and Reed should be, Page and Reed, yep, should be just ahead of him. But crazy things have been happening so far. Camelio, just looking to get past Chris Fielder. He's just dropped a bit off the back of him there. Look at Tabanari. Just coming at the hairpin then, when we're at now 5 seconds down the road, 3.7 seconds. Ian Egan in the Honda, so the top three running very smoothly at the moment. Thomas and Dennis in that fourth position. He's been involved in some battles, but the pit stops have given him a bit of clear air. Romano is on his way out of the pits. Oh, in fact, this is going to be very close. Jonathan Reed is through. Christian Romano is just on his way, and Liam Page is in turn one. So not quite as close as I thought it was going to be there, but Romano certainly very quick in laps. Armand Petrovic hasn't taken his pit stop yet, so I don't imagine he'll put up too many battles with Romano there. Definitely doesn't. Let's him get on with the race that he's running. Chris Vickers still in the hunt for overall podium honours. He's got himself right on the back of Marcus Juzma after Juzma overtook him through the pit stop phase again. I'm not sure if he got him while they were in the pits, if he just had a quicker pit stop. I don't have that to mind. We're running more time. It's on pit wall. You'll be able to check. We've got pit wall live connected. I just don't have it running because I quite frankly don't trust my internet this evening. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know how exactly he managed to pull that off. It certainly worked wonders for him. Turbovsek comes into the pits along with Tomlinson Dennis. His ERS teammate Romano in on the previous lap. I have seen the ERS team do this before. They come into the pits one lap after the other, which would suggest that Jack Thorburn will be coming in on the next lap. Klaus Christensen looking for an elongated first stint as well. David Danzer and Mitja Miladinovic out on the track as well with him there, staying out in the silvers. Edo Cops and James Rollins, one of only a handful, or two or three of only a handful of drivers in the silvers still to take their pits. Armand Petrovic again, he does like to go for a full as possible first stint, and that's certainly the case here today. 20th overall. At the moment he's running 6th in class, but with that pit stop to take from quite a few drivers go nipping past him. Matthias Caselli and the pro certainly, Juzma and Vickers definitely going to make their way through. Those two still inseparable. Chris Fielder not far behind as well, so it really is going to be interesting to see where Dixon Chen pops into this lineup. And look at Tabanari still leading the way. He's just coming through 130R now, so he is going to be hitting up the old Casio triangle. Is he going to come into the pits? If he did, it would be pretty much bang on the halfway mark. He does not. Thomas Morant, he does come into the pits then, bang on the halfway mark. It is Morant into the pits from second. Ian Egan, he's stayed out. Rock Cops, he's staying out as well. Eli Poe just making his way through the final chicane. That's Nelson Abed-Mosa, who has pitted just ahead of him. He stayed out as well. Jack Thorburn does come into the pits then, so there we go. Yeah, the ERS team do like to pit one driver straight after another. Jack Thorburn makes that the hat-trick for those three. Oh, Milton Tomlinson Dennis has got a drive-through and he's stationary and he's disconnected. And he's going to be stuck on the timing board for the rest of the race. Hurrah. Not streaming really, but doing some ACC racing here and there. Nice. Yeah, good to keep your hand in. And yeah, definitely get back to the streaming as and when you can. Good to see you back on. That should be there, that should be there. But it's not working, so we'll just leave it. It is Christian Romano, he's definitely working. There's a lot of drivers that are into the pits. Is he going to get ahead of his teammate Thorburn? He is still stationary, so is Miladinovic and David Danzer. He's come into the pits as well, so is Edo Kops. He's dropping down the order. Ilko Busing up to 8th overall then, after an unfortunate incident in the anti-bank curve. As I say, he finds 8th, 6th in class, still with that mandatory pit stop to take. But certainly looking like he's got a decent bit of space, get a few more laps in before he has to take that pit stop, one of the Team Abbey drivers. Not too far up the road. Turbovsik, Juzma and Vickers is definitely where the big battle is at the moment. They're still looking to trade places. Juzma really can't shake off the attentions of Chris Vickers. That was a weird sound. Can't shake off the attentions of Chris Vickers at the moment. Is that going to play right into the hands of one Andre Dixon Chen? Udo Kops. Let me just, nope, he is dropping down the order. He is just dropping down behind the fielder. I think he is ahead of Milodanovic. David Danzer out the pit, so is Mark Bunyan. Liam Page. Still trying to find his. Oh, wow. There we go then. So Luca Tavanari, Ian Egan, Rock Cops, Eli Poe, Andre Dixon Chen, and Alex Phillips all come into the pits, followed by Klaus Christensen and Ilko Busink. The track is not long hit optimum conditions. It was rated as fast. Obviously, we're going to be pretty solid in the assertion that Tavanari is still leading the way. You have a pretty comfortable lead over Moran on the way, and this Moran just leaving the last corner now. Actually, Tavanari does have the foot down. Ian Egan is on his way out, and Thomas Morant has maintained that second position then, so it's all about Andre Dixon Chen. Where is he compared to Marcus Juzma? Marcus Juzma just on the exit then. This is going to be pretty close. There's two cars that exit in the pit simultaneously. They need to be careful with those exit lines. And it is the run from... Oh, and there he goes. And there goes Chris Vickers. So Dixon Chen now does indeed sit in third position. And it's Marcus Juzma who is leading the way for the Silvers. And he has, in fact, gotten himself... Oh, no, he's not ahead of Turbovsik, sorry. That is Kazelia. So it has been all change, sorry. In the Silvers, it's Marcus Juzma leading the way at the moment with Chris Vickers right on his rear spoiler. James Rollins in fourth. Oh no, wait a minute. Is he about to drop down the order, or have I got this completely wrong? Yes, he is. There we go. Through the timing course. So where, in fact, so it is James Rollins, he's just ahead. Yes, it is. Okay, so Dixon Chen is in third place then. Rollins and Chris Fielder not too far down the road. Oh, very close there. That's Nelson Abrunhosa. So that's blue. Oh no, is that Dixon? Is that Vickers? That was Vickers, sorry. Looks like he didn't quite get the entrance into the hairpin that he was looking for. Very close indeed. So Andre Dixon Chen. This is absolutely not what he needed to see out the series. Chris Vickers. Oh no, there's only going to be a 10-point difference. Oh no, it's not good. Where's Dixon Chen? Third, 30 points, 20-point difference. Actually, no, it doesn't make a difference. Oh, I didn't even see that. I was too busy counting up the numbers. What on earth happened there? 130 are then. Dixon Chen and Rollins ahead. There is one of the simulation cars. Oh, Turbovsik lost it. So Turbovsik lost it and slowed up, and everyone tried to get out of the way, couldn't quite get out of the way quick enough. Dixon Chen couldn't hit the brakes quick enough because he was completely unsighted because of the slow moving Ferrari. And that is three cars. The simulation car definitely damaged there. Absolute. Oh, that is scenes there. That now puts Dixon Chen in a bit of jeopardy. That's a 14-point difference now. He's got a 16-point lead. This is uncomfy stuff for Andre Dixon Chen then. Let's have a look back up the front. That was, again, an unfortunate incident there. Turbovsik lost it in the Ferrari. slowed up, and as the cars came through 130R, I did say at the start of the broadcast, it's one of the fastest pieces of tarmac in racing, be it sim or real. And yeah, not the place you want to suddenly find a stranded car, but that's what the drivers did. Contact all round. Will not have any bearing on the championship. Dixon Chen now down to 5th in class. Oh, this is trouble. That is now a 16-point difference. As it stands, Dixon Chen is leading on count back. This is incredible stuff, and he's just been overtaken again. He really is struggling. If he's got to nurse that to the end, if he loses any more positions within class, that is the championship out the window. He will currently, as I say, he will win the championship on count back because there's a 16-point difference, and he has had to come into the pits to get that damage repaired. 22 minutes left to go. Well, ladies and gents, the highs and the lows of sim racing in one race, staring down the barrel of a championship win. Take pole position and find yourself the unwitting recipient of a slow-moving competitor, and that's an extra trip into the pits, and he's been followed in by Matthias Kidzelia as well. Another one of the drivers on the receiving end there. Wrong place, wrong time. And that's straight into the barrier and an extra trip into the pits. You definitely do not want. Milodanovic is trying to get his way past Christensen. In fact, he has got the overtake done on Christensen. Busek is in the top 20 after taking his pit stop. So it's a great run back through the field for Busek. Loitering, he's close to the top 10 actually in class. That's 5, so where is he? 13th. At the moment. Any more mistakes by Turbovzek? That certainly could be. Gap closed there. Rock Cops looking to close in on Liam Page. Potential overtakes there. David Danzer on Mark Bunyan as well. As you can see, Danzer through the hairpin very quickly, pulling up on the back of the Ferrari. Bunyan feeling all the pressure through 200R into Spoon. This is going to be very close on the exit, even closer. Danzer plays this right on the brakes. He's going to have slipstream all the way along the back stretch. Oh, tries to have a look on the way into Spoon. Again, trying to force that defensive move, see if he can outwit his opponent and get him to move over. Stop with 30 second for Matthias Kidzelia. When your race is just going from bad to worse, and Andre Dixon Chen is now about 800th in class as well. Incredible stuff. David Danzer really carrying a lot of pace through. He's got to be careful with track limit violations. Saw a lot of drive-throughs for that at Misano last night. Suzuka certainly track. You can easily nick one of the sidelines or too much off the curve, trying to carry too much pace through 130R certainly. I'd imagine more than one or two drivers have been guilty of that this evening, trying to get as much speed as possible to get involved in the battles and get as many championship points in the last round as they possibly can. Danzer still looking to do that as well. Can Aston Martin craft his way past that Ferrari? Very comfortably up at the front is Luca Tavanari, not in a Ferrari, he's in a Porsche, he's in the lead, and he is the champion-elect. 5.9 seconds still is the gap back to Thomas Morant, who's put 9.5 seconds between himself and Ian Egan. Ian actually dropping pace ever so slightly to the drivers behind. That's Liam Page and Rock Cops, and in fact if Liam wasn't having to do so much defending for Rock Cops, this might be a different story. That's let me just put Smags 660. Good evening. He needs P12 to get me in the championship. He's 13th. Oh, Tony, we love to hear this stuff. Ilko Busek then. So he needs one more position to catch his teammate. Let's see how far Camelio, not far up the road then. Oh, Tony, you're sweating a bit. Just a bit. Can he get the job done? Certainly going to be job done for rookie monster Mr. Luca Tavanari. The alien has once again graced us with his presence, and he's graced the podium and the top spot more times than any other driver in the series. Unsurprisingly, once again, absolute next level. Massive congratulations, a huge shout out to Thomas Morano, led the championship in the last race without actually winning a race. That there is consistency. That is what will bring you home championships and points. Not to be on this occasion for him, unfortunately. Or, yeah, well, you say that, we say that. I say that. 17 minutes left to go. That's still a long time at Suzuka. Just asked the guys in the Endurance Championship. Too soon? Too soon? Sorry, playing if you're watching, but Christian Romano in 7th. Trying to get past Jonathan Reed. These two, of course, know one another well from their console days. That battle reignite here on the PC at Suzuka. Cops still trying to get his way past Liam Page, and again I think this playing into the hands of Ian Egan. Not got the most impressive of gaps at the moment, but certainly managing it with the two cars battling just behind them. In the silvers, Mark Bunyan is currently sitting just inside the top 10. So Eagle Cops closing in on here, Nelson Aguilar and Petrovic just down the field. And the championship hopefuls, Marjan Koderman and Andre Dixon Chen now find themselves all but last in their class. After such a bad start, it just goes to show you that hanging in there to the end of the race is always worth it, because Koderman, it looks, is actually going to finish ahead of Andre Dixon Chen, despite the horror show start that he had and the ballast that he's carrying. So it just goes to show you, running a race right to the end, no matter what happens, can often yield rewards, and Koderman will close the gap ever so slightly on Dixon Chen. We'll give some thing in my ear. Last 33, good evening and thank you for the follow. Welcome along to SOP. If I was any type of competent broadcaster, I'd have some kind of bot that would tell you the Discord group if you want to get involved in the racing. But it still doesn't work. No matches. Oh well. But thank you for the follow. Welcome along. We've got 15 minutes left of the season. It's been a 7-race affair so far, and it's Luca Tavanari that is racing off for the Rookie Monsters to seal himself another championship. Miladanovic has been overtaken by Ilko Busek, who is trying to overtake his teammate in the standings. To do so, he needs to get ahead of Matt Camelio. Straight fight between Vickers and Juzma for silver champion after 9k and Koderman issues. Yes, indeed. I was just looking at that there. Vickers and Juzma, there's only 2 points between them. So whichever one finishes ahead will take that championship title. Of course, Tony McCoven, more interested in whether Ilko Busek manages to get himself ahead of Matt Camelio. He is very close indeed. But as you said, it's a straight fight between Vickers and Juzma. It's Juzma that's got the upper hand at the moment. Oh, and there in the background, that's actually Andre Dixon Chen. You can see he's just been lapped by these guys because he's had to take an extra trip of the pits. How heartbreaking must that be? Absolutely heartbreaking. There's Simon Turbovsek making his way through as well, the driver that had the unfortunate incident. Nothing he could do. He controlled the car the best he could. He just left it. It was just happened to be right in the middle of the track, at the fastest part of the track. So not ideal for the drivers around him. But yeah, Dixon Chen just in the background there as the championship lead slips away from him and is being contested by Juzma and Vickers. The two Aston Martins will be hoping, or certainly Vickers will be hoping to trade positions. Definitely no pain. Let's see how Busek's getting on. How's that for timing? Okay, so he'd actually lost. Oh, he moved to the position there. Ah, okay. So Camelio didn't have the most comfortable of Casio triangles. Oh, he's popped right over into the slipstream there. So the two of them have gone tearing right up the inside. He's followed them through. Oh, yeah, I think Yoko partially unsighted there. Got Camelio. Tony McCoven breathes a sigh of relief. Same between for Pro, whoever finishes ahead is champion. Yeah, right enough, yeah, only 6 points separating these two, and a 10-point difference between the points for first and second. 12 minutes left to go. Vickers on Juzma. Oh, he really is hanging in there now. That is the exit to Spoon. Again, coming to the fastest part of the track on the back stretch. How much will that slipstream affect them? Just over the curb. Doesn't use feel all the exit curve, perhaps trying to shy away from any potential in-game penalties. Definitely don't want any track limit violations. And a trip into pits, that would be good night Vienna for the entire championship. Right on the pit wall, both drivers can see Vickers will end that slipstream for sure. The two Aston Martins. He's popped it a little bit early there. I don't think he's going to quite get side by side into turn number one. He's certainly going to make it interesting for Juzma, but it is Juzma that's going to maintain that lead. Vickers getting very close there. Oh, I really wanted the next dab of the brakes to pull that nose in and try and get up on that inside again into the anti-bank curve. So it is still a game set and match for Marcus Juzma. He's got that championship right there in front of him. Rock Cop still trying to get his way past Liam Pages, so he'll have a bit of a wiggle on the exit to the Degnas there. El Bop, Turisto, Magnifico, Ian Egan still hanging on to that podium position, in the gap between himself and Liam stretching out thanks to the battle between Rock and Liam. And Vickers and Juzma again. Look how close these two are. Absolutely trading paint. Well, Mix Benito as well trying to get past Eagle Cops at the minute. There is Turbovsik in the background. So again, he's not looking to improve on his overall position, just a race finish position. He's got Alex Phillips 3.5, 4 seconds down the road. So not a massive concern for Turbovsik in the Ferrari, but a great drive from him. 10th at the minute. Is Busing still trying to close on Camelio again as we come out of Spoon. That's the rear spoiler. That's past the seat. Oh, he's a lot closer this time. Has a look round the outside, so that is Marcus tied to the inside line. Oh, great drive by both of them through there. Will Vickers get a sniff on the way in the Casio triangle? Not quite. The Bozek really in the background watching this one as well. You can see just how close those two are, and certainly how close he is to the battle ahead. There's Rollins just in the background. So he's actually hunting down a podium position as well. If he can hang on the back of Turbovsik, could you see James Rollins in the closest state? Oh, and they're going to go side by side in turn number one again. Juzma and Vickers. It's Juzma on the inside line, Vickers on the outside line. He really is trying to get that move done. Turbovsik's going to get himself involved as well. Somebody's going to get boxed out through the anti-bank curve. They've made contact. The championship leaders have made contact, and championship protagonist number 2 finds himself into the wall. Turbovsik is going to make his way up through that position, and it is James Rollins. I just said, could he be a bit of a dark horse towards the end here? He was right on the back of this battle, and his patience has certainly paid off. He's now promoted to second place, so it is game on. Marcus Juzma has got that championship in his hand. James Rollins as well. He's 7th at the moment, 104 points. This could certainly see him rocket up the standings ahead of Abram Hossa and Jimmy Boy Horn with the amount of points he is about to pull in. Won't catch up to Juzma or Vickers, obviously, but certainly a positional improvement in the championship certainly is up for grabs there. Let's see. Chris Vickers has gotten on. Here he is there. So he has held on to third, just about where, yeah, Fielder not far behind him, in fact, yeah. The jump on Chris Fielder's bonnet. That is a lapped Andre Dixon Chen, one-time championship leader. Just ahead of him is Chris Vickers. Could this go from bad to worse? I didn't actually see how much contact. Fielder really is running the limits with that track. There's still 8 minutes to go. Do not be picking up drive-throughs. Definitely not what you need to do. The Mercedes munching its way through the air in Japan and looking to close up. We're trying to get as much slipstream as possible from Dixon Chen. He knows that Chen is of a similar pace to him, obviously being the championship leader. So it will just be a case of using as much slipstream as possible. Well, we'll try not to let it disrupt him too much. Don't want the front tyres to wear. Chris Vickers using every millimetre on that exit again. On his way into the anti-band curves. Third place in the race standings. Busink is caught back up to Camelio, and it looks like he's got that overtake done. Coming at the last corner, it is Busink, and that's a bit. Okay. He's given the position back. He certainly pulled over and slowed up there, and he's let Ilko ahead of him. As by way of apology for the contact, so perhaps feels the contact was more on him than Busink. He's given that position back, which does indeed, I believe, put him into 12th position. Tony. So yeah, there we go, bud. It's looking like Ilko might just do it. I know. I know the last thing you wanted to see there was Matt Camelio being all sporting and giving the position back. Completely understandable, but no. Yeah, Ilko is 17th overall, and he's got 5 silver drivers ahead of him. So yeah, he has reached and reached. I've been pushing him to get 12 all week long. Oh yeah, oh listen, yeah, mate, I know. I'm just joining him with the memes. Oh! Yep, drive through, Matt Camelio. First one of the day, which is not bad actually. I never racing between this many cars to only see one drive through for track limits. Pretty impressive if we're being honest. Klaus Christensen trying to get an overtake done on David Danzer just in the closing stages. Even Cox, Big Spinimo, Mark Bunyan also running. Nelson Abrin, Hosa, Petrovic, Marjan Koderman, Andre Dixon Chen. James Horn bringing up the rear at the moment. So still lots of drivers out on track. Look at Tabanari, still leading the way, 9.5 seconds, really is not letting up at all. And Rock Cops really isn't letting go of this potential 4th position. Well, Kegs, yo, how we doing, bud? We're coming. Down to the last 5 minutes, drive through cleared. Rock Cops on his way into Spoon. You can see Page, how close is he going to do it? Let's do a bit more bonnet car. In fact, let's do passenger car slightly better in the Audi, isn't it? It is indeed. Look at all that luminous yellow. Coming along towards 130R, how close can Cops get? Audi versus BMW. There we go, yeah, make it through safely towards the Casio Triangle. Heavy on those brakes, really putting the pressure on there. The Audi definitely seem to be better on the brakes into the slower corners. Are we going to see anything again into turn number 1? We've seen a couple of overtake attempts made there this evening from various drivers with varying degrees of success. James Rollins is taking the lead of the Silvers. So James Rollins then on the exit the Spoon in the dying stages. Marcus Dewsbury looked like he had this one in the bag. I did say James Rollins could be the surprise package sitting just behind the 2 silver leaders. They've had a bit of contact, and James Rollins, he's not, right, okay, sorry, he's not taking the lead. I got confused as to which car was which. Just into the Casio Triangle, the 2 of them very close indeed. Why is the camera going stationary? There we go. But Rollins, he's certainly closed up. 4 minutes left to go. It's going to be an uncomfortable finish for Dewsbury, though he will still win the championship. If he takes second, Rollins could get himself a race victory. Rock Cox still trying to get past Liam Page, and look at Tavanari still magnificently leading the way. He is a fair chunk ahead of the rest of the field. Mix Benito just getting involved in a little battle there with Ido Cops. Of course, Ido on the podium last week, so carrying a bit of ballast. There is Mix just making his way past. Matt Camelio after serving that drive-through. Got Nelson Abrunhosa just behind him, but he has tumbled down the order. Mark Bunyan is in the pits as well, and he is stationary. That is not what you like to see with less than 3 minutes to go of the race. Oh, Rock really trying to get that overtake done through into Casio Triangle. Did manage to hold on to it there. Simon Turbovzik as well. He's looking to get past the BMW of Jonathan Reed. Through 130R, he is absolutely on that rear bumper then. Looking to go side by side. Will he get the cut back? Is he going to get that exit? He got the cut back on the way in. Doesn't quite get the exit though, but he's right on that rear bumper. They're going to go side by side along the start-finish straight. No slipstream for either driver. Let's see if we can get a better view of where they actually are. And it is Turbovzik looking to go round the outside. So Reed will take both apexes. Turbovzik could look for a dive up the inside on the exit on the curb. Definitely thinks better of that. Through into the anti-band curves, it's going to be Reed with that 9th place. But Turbovzik certainly not letting up and looking to improve on his 10th. Cops still trying to get his way past Liam Page, and look at Tavanari on his way to another SOP championship. Phenomenal driving all season long. 3 trips to the podium, 3 race wins on the cards, and I tell you, Ilko Busink is looking to improve on his overall race position. He's got Milodanovic just ahead of him, Alex Phillips, James Rollins and Marcus Juzma. Once again, the 3 SOP drivers inseparable. Only this time it is Juzma leading the way, with Rollins in second and Phillips in third. Complete opposite to the way they were run in the opening stages. Chris Vickers not too far behind, frustratingly close. He will feel to the lead, and that is a notification that the leader is indeed on the final lap. He took pole position in qualifying. He took this race by the scruff of the neck, and he is led from start to finish absolutely magnificently. 1 minute 58.9. The only driver in the race to have set a lap time under 1 minute 59 seconds. Not even that many. Oh, Eli Poe. Track limit violation. And he finds himself with a drive-through penalty, and they've even said that that counts for his lap, even though he only got it as he went through 130R. So that's pretty harsh game. Although actually he doesn't actually have enough laps left to take it. So that is going to be a big time penalty when he crosses the line. Busik on Milodanovic won't actually make any difference in the championship. Neither will Cops on Benito. They're following in the slipstream. Looks like Mark Bunyan's going to finish the race in the pits. Look at Tavanari, Eli Poe. That's really going to drop him down the order. Turbovzik on Reed, and he's got that job done. Let's have a little 30-second replay. If I missed the winner crossing the line, I'm going to get hung out to dry, considering I missed qualifying. There's the 3 SOP cars in the back. It is turn number 1 that Turbovzik gets them. Okay then. So perhaps not the cleanest overtakes. You would think that Turbovzik will give that position back. Obviously, this is sim racing, not ice hockey. But NHL, I've heard, is pretty good on the old pro clubs if you do want to shoulder charge your opponents into the wall. Turbovzik, at the moment, given the position back, you would expect him to do so, though. That didn't look like the cleanest overtakes. But out of the last corner, let us once again wax lyrical about the alien-like talent that is Luca Tavanari, championship leader with his 3rd race win of the series, and even manages to go full Vin Diesel and slide the GT3 Porsche around the turn 1 at Suzuka. Phenomenal stuff. Thomas Morant led the championship into this race. Another podium for him. And that finds him second overall. Phenomenal stuff. And Ian, the Bop Tourist Egan, gets himself another podium as well. Third place for him. Liam Page in fourth. Rock Cops right on his rear spoiler in fourth there. Eli Pole's going to cross the line. The fifth big time penalty means that Christian Romano and Jack Thorburn, his ERS teammate, are going to be promoted ahead. It's a 30-second penalty, so we'll see how many people do in fact get ahead of him. Jonathan Reed still behind Terbovic. Reed rightfully flashing his lights there. I would have expected Terbovic to give that position back. It's a straight slipstream race. James Marcus Juzma leads the 3 SOP cars home. Congratulations, Juzma lifts the championship potential. Stewards inquiries, of course, there's been a couple of contacts in the race. We'll let them deal with that. We'll deal with what we know. It's James Rollins on the podium with Chris Vickers then. Chris Fielder finishes in fourth. Mitja Milanovic getting himself a fifth place. It's David Danzer in sixth. Klaus Christensen in seventh. Ido Kops in eighth place. Massive commiserations to Marjan Koderman and Andre Dixon Chen. Yeah, can't even imagine what's going through his head right now. Devastating race there. Led the championship. And yeah, getting caught up in another driver's incident, and it's seen him finishing well down the order. But congratulations, there's Lucas still going absolutely wild in the Porsche. Love to see it. Victory lap indeed. Oh, there we go. Even goes sideways into Casio Triangle. Honestly, Luca, there's limits. Sorry, Jesus. Oh, okay, so Chris reckons that might have been his mistake, even though you shouldn't be typing in the chat because it makes my broadcast look untidy, so please don't do that again. But there you go then. It was Vickers taking responsibility. Yeah, I would. Yeah, we did see that, mate. Liam Page, sweaty mess. The strategic finish outside the podium at Indianapolis plays back. Ah, indeed. Yeah, so 9K, we did see that. It wasn't so much a rejoin. The car got thrown. The curbs threw him sideways, and he came pinging back onto the track. And yeah, you guys got caught in it. That is, well, we're just saying, mate, absolutely devastating. Yeah, especially for yourself, given that was the championship. Right there. Who won the pros? Luca, obviously. Liam, Luca Tavanari once again doing Luca Tavanari things. Absolutely phenomenal drive to take the top spot. Morant will finish in second. Ian Egan will finish in third. The Arms, devastating finish there, like I say, for Dixon Chen down in 12th. Led the championship. Caught up in that incident with Terbovic. Yeah, crazy drive, crazy race. But it is Juzma who's going to take that championship win, as Luca does his best to get rid of every single bit of rubber on the back tyres of that Porsche. Rollins in second, Chris Vickers finishing. That I said finishing and Vickers at the same time there, nothing else. You misheard me. If that's what you heard, that's what you heard. That's on you, not me. Chris Fielder in fourth, Milanovic in fifth place, Danzer, Christensen, Kops, Abun, Hosa and Petrovics. Rounding out the top 10 again, Koderman and Dixon Chen with the race. They will be quick to forget if they can. Mark Bunyan and Jimmy Boy Horn finishing in the pits. In the pros, Tavanari, Moran, Egan, Page, Kops, as I mentioned. Christian Romano in sixth with his teammate Thorburn just behind him. Terbovic in eighth. Again, it's one of those. It was his car that lost, and nobody actually made contact with him, which was quite amazing. And we've completely lost the results. So let's go straight to the highlights. We did have the endurance race at the weekend. I do have the last 40 minutes of it recorded. I'm going to maybe try and put some voice over that so you guys and gals can watch it. A few external technical issues prevented me from broadcasting. I'm not mentioning anything to anybody because I can't be doing with the jokes, quite frankly. But we'll have round 2 of that coming up very, very, very soon. Indeed, that was the last round of this particular competition, unfortunately. Imola, circa of the track limit. Silverstone, Watkins Glen, Kyalami, Indianapolis and Suzuka have been the tracks which have expertly hosted us this evening, or over the series, sorry, and what the series it has been, decided by the craziest of things during the race. As I was saying, we've got the GTWC Cup. That is round 1 done. That is fully signed up for. The PS5 Sprint Series Monday 8 still has spaces, so if you're on the PS5, make sure you get involved in that. And there's also an Italian Job Multi-Class Championship starting on November 9th. Still a few spaces in that, so get yourselves on to Simrid. Give SOP a follow over there, please. Thank you very much. And that's ironic a bit. I wouldn't have done it without Thomas' setup. Oh wow. Crazy. So it was Thomas' setup that got that. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring, and Thomas Barat handed his competitor the winning setup, and that's what's brought him another championship. Yeah, look at it again. Can't congratulate you enough, mate. Another absolutely stunning drive. Let me just. Why is this not working now? Everything's frozen. Thank you, NY Plux, as well, for the follow. Sorry, I didn't see that. Thank you very much for that. Welcome in. Why is everything frozen? How's my day not been rough enough? Please work. Please work. It's not working. Yep, everything's frozen, so enjoy the highlights, and I will try my best to make this all work. Now things on screen are moving as well. Excellent. I do love the technical issues. Never mind people crashing on track. It's an absolute car crash with these things. There it is, Petrovic having a little spin on the exit to 130. Oh, it was the Indianapolis setup. Right, got you. Go then. Hey, Yoko, how are you doing? I'm good, mate, I'm good. How are you? That, sir, safe to say, was an eventful race. Quite the finish, but you did manage to sneak 12th at the end, which means you did get one up on Mr. McCoven. He was in here temporarily. He did say if you did get 12th, he was there was something to do with a large pair of underpants, a Bridget Jones DVD, and a huge tub of ice cream. So, yeah, Tony might be a bit busy consoling himself. For the foreseeable future. Yeah, Phoenix is delighted as you are, but yeah, congratulations on getting that 12th right at the end. Then I will laugh. Tony, you're welcome. Cookies and cream, got to be done. Luke Addison. Woo! South African streamer extraordinaire. I spend quite a lot of time lurking in your streams, Luke. You've got a great personality and you're really good behind the wheel, mate. I love watching your streams. So yeah, an actual Twitch legend we've got in our chat as well. So what we have here, Luke, is yeah, legends all round. It's SOP Motorsports. We've just finished the 7-week series. So I'll look with a follow as well, thank you very much. It's from my other account, mate, so this is Double O Raven. I have dropped in a few times, but yeah, that's really cool. I do watch you in the morning. But yeah, welcome in, mate. SOP Motorsport. I'm glad I just shared the sim with us. If you want to get involved in some racing, bud, we've got some serious competition. If you want to get involved, we've just seen Luca, the Alien Tavanari, bring home another championship after 7 phenomenal rounds. So yeah, plenty more racing to come. Thanks, man, appreciate it. We'll have a check. Oh, nice. Yeah, get yourself involved, bud. PS4, PS5 and PC is where we do all the racing. We've got an endurance series and all that good stuff going on. But that is Of course. Good morning. My name is Dr. John Kimball. I'll be the substitute teacher for today. Get out of here. Right, we're going to go and do a raid. And I think we all know who we're going to raid. It's got to be a man called Lynx. Losing to a guy that didn't drive for 4 races. I know, that would have been bad. That would have been bad, Busey. That would have been... but yeah, again, look, thanks for tuning in. NY Plucks with a follow as well. Last 33, Smags. And of course, I am the law. And call sign Twitch as well for the follows this evening. Behind my standards. At least I saved my Bridget Jones TV. Yeah, you don't want to watch it too often and end up wearing it out, Tony. That would be the worst thing ever. The worst thing ever. What? Yeah, enough of my random waffling. That is all we have time for. I'll be back with more SOP stuff as soon as possible. There's rumblings in the staff room that I need to check up on, but expect more announcements very, very, very soon indeed. Hope to speak to you soon again, John. Have a good night. I will, Busey. Thank you very much. Again, thank you, especially teams like the Rookie Monsters and stuff that keep bringing back teams time and time again. Love to see you guys in there. Thank you to everyone that took part over the series, the SOP drivers, Simon Verbovsik there, Chris Vickers, Nelson Abbey, Team Abbey, Simulation Esports. Oh, yeah. Love you guys as well. Thanks to, again, everyone again. Well, thank you to Simon and the SOP guys and gals for putting these races together. And yeah, endurance. So here's the irony, Busey. We signed that we started this competition with 6 and nobody signed up. And then we dropped it to an hour and a half and couldn't get reserves. It's crazy. Wednesday wouldn't be the same without your tones. Oh, dude, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I love the fact that you guys all tune in. Keep us company during the broadcasts. We'll go and jump over and see everyone's favourite EC streamer. This guy is as quick as he is nice and laid back. DJ on the side, and he's running some leagues as well. So if you're looking for ACC leagues to get involved in, ourselves are certainly over at Linksay. There's loads of places out there. This guy, definitely top of the list though. So yes, we'll go and say hi to Linksay. And I will catch you all again, hopefully here on SOP Shores very, very soon. Until then, stay safe and have a great night. Good night.